Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Mahavidyushavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattwabodho Bhidiyate. We are going through the Prakarana Grandham, Tattwabodham, and there are 5 core topics, and we are almost reaching the 5th topic, and the 4 topics. The first topic starts with the eligibility to gain the self-knowledge, eligibility to know the real goal of our life, or we can say this is the eligibility that will make one qualify for self-enquiry. When we say self-enquiry, who am I? What is my true identity? Am I this so-called body, mind, intellect, senses? What exactly is my true identity? If you don't know the true identity, you will not be able to know the true goal of our life. What is the real purpose of my life? So, Tattwabodham is equipping us as the Tattwabodham is equipping us to do a self-enquiry. What exactly is my true self? So the core topics, the 5 topics are there. First is the qualification, the eligibility. Eligibility for what? Eligibility for the self-enquiry and gaining the self-knowledge. Correct? That itself is the qualification. The qualification for the self-enquiry. That is the first topic. And in that qualification, I hope the online audience, you can hear my voice. See me as well as hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what are the 4-fold qualifications? The first one is the discrimination, the real understanding between what is permanent, what is not permanent. What is my real goal versus what is my superficial goal? Because we have a lot of goals in life, right? In one plane, we have a lot of objective goals, or we say materialistic goals. On the other side, what is the true purpose of my life? So one should be able to have the discriminative intelligence. What is the discriminative intelligence? The knowledge of what is real, what is not real, what is permanent, what is not permanent. One way we can say Shreyas and Prayas. Shreyas is all about the final goal, so called as the Swadharmam. And Prayas is all about the materialistic goals or materialistic desires one have. So one should be very clear in life. This is the discrimination. Discrimination between real and unreal. Discrimination between the real goal in my life and the superficial goals in my life. We all play different roles in our life, right? In the plane of universe or in the plane of the world, we play different roles. But those roles are superficial roles. Those goals are superficial goals. That cannot be, or those goals cannot be the real goal. The real goal is all about knowing yourself, knowing your true reality. So this is the discrimination. So one should know what is permanent in life, what is not permanent in life, what is real in life, what is not real in life, what is my real goal in life, what are my superficial goals in life. This is the first qualification one needs, discrimination. And second is the dispassion. Dispassion is all about attachment to the real, attachment to the Satta, attachment to Satyam, attachment to something which never changes. And what is that? Our own Surupam. Our own inner reality is something which is permanent, which never changes. So this is dispassion. Attachment towards the permanent, attachment towards something which is not changing, and detachment from something which changes. Detachment from superficial goals and attachment to the real goal. What is the real goal? Real goal is to know about ourself. And the third one is the desire. Desire is the mumukshutvam, the urge, or we can say the intense fire in us to accomplish the goal. What is the goal? The goal to know our own self. Know that unchanging truth. Realize that truth. So this is the desire. This is the, the urge or the intense desire one should have in life. And the last one is the discipline. Discipline is all about, again, attaining the goal, but it is not that easy to attain that goal. There are a lot of obstacles. That includes our body, mind, senses, etc. So one should attune these equipments. One should attune these faculties, so-called as body, mind, intellect, senses, etc. For what? For realizing that real goal. So that is where the Indriya Niyandranam, Mano Nigraham, all those terms and terminologies we have seen. Correct? That is the first core topic of Tattwabodha. What is that? The yogyada, the qualifications needed for one to realize that truth. What are those? Discrimination, dispassion, desire, and discipline. And coming to the second core topic is analysis of the individual, analysis of Jiva, analysis of Vyashti. When we say Jiva, from the perspective of a body, analysis of Vyashti, analysis of Jiva, analysis of an individual. That is what we have seen as the second topic. And again, one should also understand that when we say as an individual, we should understand that there are two dimensions. One is the Anatma and other one is the Atma. Correct? Atma Satyam Tadanyat Midhya Idi. So what is the Satvastu? What is the conscious principle? That is Atma. Our own existence. The existence, consciousness, bliss principle. That is the only one truth. That is the one which never changes. So when we say individual, we have to understand that Atma and Anatma. What is Anatma? That changes. that came into existence, that sustains, and then it goes back. So it includes our own body, our own thoughts, our own ideas, our own skills. Correct? Huh? Including mind, that is Maya, that is Avara Prakriti. Whatever is manifested, whatever you appreciate, whatever you see, they all are matter principle, they all are material, they all are called as Anatma Vastu. And from our body, if you see, Stula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira, subtle, causal, and the gross body, they all are Anatma. So then what is the other part? The other part is the Atma, your own existence. That is not changing, correct? So when you say Jiva, please understand that there are two dimensions. One is the Anatma part, or you call it as matter principle, that is modifiable, that is changing, etc. That includes body, mind, intellect, sense, your ideas, your bank deposits, your relationships, your birth as a body, everything is Anatma. That is Maya, that is Apara Prakriti. And Para Prakriti, or the spiritual principle or the consciousness principle, is Atma. And you are that. And that Atma, from the reference of a body, is called as Jiva Atma. That consciousness, which is described from the point of reference of body, is called as Jiva Atma. This is the second topic that we have seen. Then the third topic is the analysis of the total, analysis of the universe, analysis of Samashti. And we also have seen from the causal universe, the subtle universe came and the gross universe came into picture, right? That is where we have seen the Panjikaranam. That was a very elaborate topic that we have discussed, correct? So now if you see Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram from the reference of a body or an individual, and similarly from the reference of the universe, Stula Prapanjam, Sukshma Prapanjam, Karana Prapanjam. Correct? The same consciousness is reflected in this media. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram from an individual's point of view. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Prapanjam from the totality point of view. What is inherent in this? Inherent in this is the consciousness principle. And the same consciousness principle is reflected in the three media called as Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram, or Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Prapanjam. So now the fourth topic is the Aikyam. What is Aikyam we are referring here? Aikyam with respect to what? Aikyam of, what is the Aikyam what we are referring here? The consciousness which is there in the Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Prapanjam. The consciousness is what? Aikyam is the, what is the right English word for Aikyam? Unity. Sameness. Unity or sameness. Meaning, the consciousness is same in all these media or in the Upadhi. Only the Upadhis are different, and the Upadhi's quality will also matter, because the consciousness is reflected. When I say reflected, the same Chaitanyam which is there in us is reflected through the mind, and the reflection happens in this body. Correct? So the mind is borrowing the consciousness and reflecting that consciousness, and this is getting reflected in this media called as the body. And the quality of mind differs, the quality of body differs across individuals, because Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas, and all the vasanas, all the traits, and the built up of the individual, all are different. That is why the original consciousness getting reflected And that's why individuals are called as individuals.
Consciousness in life forms I can understand, but consciousness with stars and planets.
Huh. It is the same principle. This is the unifying principle that guides the entire system. There is the universal law. That law is same, whether it is star or a moon or a sun or an individual. This is the same truth. There cannot be more than one truth. And that is the only one principle. And you are that principle. You are that principle, meaning you are in that principle. And in that principle, this is a manifestation. So the world and the Jagat and Jiva, there is only one principle which is underlying Jagat and Jivan. And Shruti is empowering us, hey, you are this principle. You are not a matter principle. Eh?
Even a star.
Huh. It is also a manifestation. It is also a manifestation. It is something that got formed. That has got a shape, that has got a size, that has got a mass. That is also changing. Anything manifested, so-called as Maya or Apara Prakriti, there is no independent existence to the Maya or Apara Prakriti. There is no independent existence to the, even the body. Is there an independent existence without the consciousness? If the consciousness, if the Chaitanya is not there, the body becomes dead body. So where is the meaning in that case?
So Paramatma is also basically Atma and Maya.
Ishwaran, in one sense, Ishwaran is the consciousness plus Maya. But Maya under control. But the Jiva is also, consciousness plus, that is not Maya. That is basically Ajnanam. That is the ignorance. So Maya is controlling the Jiva, whereas Ishvara has control over the Maya. But the same consciousness principle is there in Jiva and Ishvara. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita says, Ajobisan avyayatma bhudanam ishwarobisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. Hey Arjuna, you and I, we both are same from the point of consciousness principle, but you are not able to identify your past janmas, whereas I am. Why? Because the Maya is under my control, whereas you are controlled by Maya. Sambhavami Atma Maya. So, whether it is micro or macro, the unifying principle is the consciousness principle. And this consciousness principle is getting reflected in this media. And the nature of media creates the distortion. Are you all with me so far? The nature of the media is creating the distortion.
Then Paramatma and Brahman, they are basically the same.
Paramatma and Brahman, yes, it's same. Yeah. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Vadandidat Tattvavedas Tattvam Yat Jnanam Advayam Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavanidi Shabdyat. This is the definition. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. It is all referred as the same. Vadandidat Tattvavedaha Yat Tattvam Jnanam Advayam. It is a non-dual principle. Advayam Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavan Idi Shabdyate. In the Pradama Kandam of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is quoted. This sloga comes. So it is very clear. This is the unifying underlying principle. And that principle is getting reflected in different media. And based on the quality of the media, that reflection happens. And if the medium is, not able to really understand that, for example, if it is a glass covered with a lot of dust, will you be able to see your image, your face? And if there is minimal dust, you may be able to identify that, okay, I am standing, I am able to see. But if it is a very clean glass, will you be able to see your reflection in the glass? So, It depends upon the kind of dust or dirt, or we can say it depends upon the ajnanam. If there is no ajnanam, it is a clear reflection. Meaning, you are one with that reality. The mind is not playing. The mind is not creating any obstacles. The mind is pure. The mind is clear. You are able to go beyond and behind the mind. It means the mind has gone and seen the existence, its own existence, where it exists. What is the substrate? But now the mind is cluttered. The mind is covered with lot of, unwanted identifications. So in the macro medium, we can call it as consciousness plus positive distortions or superior distortions. We can say it's Utkrishta Ubadhi. And in the macro medium, we can say that principle is Ishwaran, though it's a positive distortion. Right? In the macro medium, that consciousness we can call as the Utkrishta Ubadhi and Ishwaran. And whereas in the micro medium, when it comes to on individual, there are inferior or negative traits or tendencies. So we can call it as negative distortions or Nikrishta Ubadhi, or in another way we can call as Jivan or Jiva Atma. Hope you all are with me. So one has to remove this distortion through the lens of knowledge. These distortions are called as Ajnanam in the Vedantic term. Ajnanam. So how one can remove the Ajnanam? Through knowledge. Ajnanam is darkness. How darkness can be removed? Only through the light. And light of what? Light of self-knowledge. Light of knowledge. So remove the distortions through the knowledge and see the essential oneness. You are that Tattwamasi. So the third topic is what? Jiva Brahma Aikyam. Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. Or Vyashti Samashti Swarupa Aikyam. Vyashti Samashti Swarupa Aikyam. So how one can attain this? Through two ways, Karma Yogam and Upasana Yogam. And when we say Karma Yogam, do every karma as the service to God, and at the same time you should also have this knowledge. That is where the Upasana comes into picture. So how one can do the Upasana? One way is, the first or the primary way is Sravanam. Listen, 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 listen. When I say Sravanam, it is all about systematic and consistent study of scriptures under a capable Guru. When we say Guru, Bhagavan Krishna himself is the Guru. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Janapradam Gurum. So we have the invocation verse. Bhagavan Krishna himself is our Guru. So this Guru is giving this knowledge in the form of Tattwabodha, in the form of different scriptures. Have a systematic and consistent study of the scriptures under a Guru. Bhagavan himself is our Guru. Sravanam. Being in the consistent touch of our scriptures. It can be through listening, it can be through Vedanta Vicharam, it can be through Satsangam, like this. Sravanam, Mananam. What is Mananam? Convert this knowledge which is there. The knowledge is codified in the scriptures. Take that knowledge, convert that knowledge, and create conviction in us. This conviction is all about removing the doubts. If you see this, you may get a number of doubts. How it can be? I am not clear. So how doubts can be removed? Doubts can be removed through mananam. Convert that knowledge into conviction. Meaning remove the intellectual obstacles, because the intellect will question, oh, how it can be. So how this obstacle can be removed? Through mananam. You have to do Atma Vicharam or Atma Vichintanam. And the last stage is Dhyanam or Nididhyasanam. One has to assimilate. This knowledge has to be assimilated as our own wisdom. When I say assimilation, there are two aspects: conviction and creating the wisdom. And at the same time, the past or the old vasanas which we were having, or still we may have it, those vasanas should not come and stop this growth. You getting me? Vasana is all the traits that are inherent in a person. So those traits probably will come and question, or those traits may not allow us to progress. So one has to have full control of that vasanas in such a way that the vasanas will not come up, and one should be able to get out of that, get out of the old habits and assimilate this wisdom. Then only it becomes, a practical life. See, there are a lot of conditioning. One has to get rid of that conditioning. Otherwise, the topics are described in the scriptures. One can read, one can understand. Until and unless one does a kind of, introspection on this, the doubts will never get cleared. Okay, what after that? One has to assimilate the knowledge which is gained from the scriptures into own wisdom. And at the same time, the old traits will not come up and stop the spiritual progress. So what we have to do is learning, Sravanam is important, then doing the Mananam, then consistently doing the Dhyanam. When I say Dhyanam, assimilating it to as our own wisdom, and avoid the old traits to come up and disturb. It's all about removing the conditioning in life. One has to do deconditioning or reorientation. Then one has to have this as a nishtha. When you say nishtha, this knowledge will become the true wisdom. You all with me? So, Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam. And what will happen? That is the fourth topic that we are discussing. What are the... So, the fourth topic is the Aikyam. Fifth topic is what are the results, or what are the bhalam. First is what? The qualifications. Second is the analysis of individual. Third is analysis of total. Fourth is the essential oneness. And fifth one is basically the bhalam, the results of knowing or understanding this oneness. What is the bhalam? So what is the bhalam? We have... This is the last one, man of realization, Jivan Mukta. So now one has to understand these distortions are incidental. These distortions are temporary. These distortions are notional. See, I can tell an example. You are standing near the side of a road. Someone came and pushed you away from the road. What will be your instant emotion coming? You were standing near the side of the road. Assume that near Hope Farm Circle, right? And someone came and just pushed you.
Anger.
The first emotion will be anger. Then that person saying, haven't you noticed this truck? It was about to hit you. Now what would be your emotion? And you also saw the truck. Huh?
Gratefulness.
God.
Thank God.
So nice of you. Bhagavan himself appeared in front of me. In the place of that anger, the gratefulness or gratitude coming in that person, right? Similarly, our problems that we are thinking, right, or the problems that we give more importance, please understand that these all are just distortions, and they are incidental, they are temporary, they are just notional. The biggest assurance Shruti gives, our Dharmam gives to us is, you are pure, you are a Shuddhan, you are a Muktan, you are the pure consciousness. The Upadhis are creating dosham for you. You are not the Upadhi. This is the biggest assurance. This is the biggest confidence that our Shastram is giving to us. So now, coming to the fifth topic is all about Jnana Bhalam, what one can have from this knowledge. I hope it is clear. You all are with me so far. I have done a good recap of all these sessions, whoever missed that, but I think you all are on the same page. With that understanding, let us start the first verse for the day. Man of realization, Jivan Mukta. Okay. Evam cha Vedanta Vakyai Sadguru Padeshena cha Sarveshu Vibhuteshu Yesham Brahma Buddhirutpanna Te Jivan Mukta Ityarthaha. Evam cha Vedanta Vakyaihi Sadguru Padeshena cha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Yesham Brahma Buddhirutpanna Te Jivan Mukta Ityartha. So what is the bhalam? What is the bhalam? What is the bhalam of self-knowledge? You will become a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta. See, we all usually use this term Mukti, Moksham, and especially, when someone passes away, right, we say, let that Atma attain Moksha. What is that? Is that Moksham to be attained after the passing away of the body? It has to be much before. But there is nothing wrong. If someone says that let that Atma attain Moksha, that is the ultimate purpose. Moksham is the ultimate purpose of life. Correct. If that Jiva has not attained, we are also praying, let that Jiva attain the Moksha. But that Moksha has to be attained now itself. That is where the Mukti, it is Mukti, it is the freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from what? Freedom from the materialistic challenges. So if one has to attain freedom from materialistic life, one has to be super strong at the internal level. One has to be super strong, meaning what? One has to be very clear about the true knowledge of self. One has to be very clear about what is my ultimate purpose in life. Who am I? Am I this limited being? Am I this, body and mind and intellect who is really struggling? We cannot deny that we are that, but we are not only that. We are having a profound dimension, so called as the true self, that is your true Swarupam. This is all about change in perspective. When one says Mukti is the Bhalam, it is all about what? Will you be able to show others that, I have got Moksham. Yesterday, this certificate, this is to certify that so and so person got Moksham. This is all about, a transformation happening in a person. What is that transformation? That transformation is all about change of perspective. Change of perspective.
So an Atma which has not attained moksha, can it be said to be in samsara? Is it related?
If moksha has not attained, meaning if there are, we will come to that topic in the next session. The three karmas, sanjitam, agami and prarabdha. If there are unfulfilled vasanas, that jiva has to take another birth. Correct. So, if there are unfulfilled vasanas, it is quite obvious that another birth has to happen.
So I think the Buddhist thinking about samsara and the Sanatana thinking of samsara is a little bit different. I think. Because Buddhist samsara means the state of non-moksha, a state of non-nirvana. Meaning when you are not attacking.
Yeah.
That's like they call that samsara.
No, it is same only, because there should not be a state of non-enlightenment in us, because if you see, the human birth is very, very superior. Why? Among all these creations, so human birth is the only one birth that can achieve Brahma avaloga dishanam mudam abadeva. One, the human being can realize that profound truth. Only human birth can realize that. So ultimately, nirvana is the real aim. But everyone will not get equipped, because that is how the system is. But ultimately, the janana marana cycles, the jiva undergoes, and at some point of time the liberation happens. And that liberation can happen in this janma also. So now the bhalam, the topic is now the result of this jiva brahma aikya. What is the end result? The end result is jivan mukta avastha. And now the question will come, what is that avastha meaning? Jivan mukta avastha is all about changes in your perspective. And again, what will happen to you? Will you become different? Or will this be noticed by somebody else? These are the kind of questions one will have. We will see those. And says that, this knowledge has to be gained from the Shastram with the help of a guru. And I mentioned that Swadhyayam, Sampradayam, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam, all those things has to be executed in this life. And liberation is that we are seeking for. What is liberation here? Liberation is all about freedom from the fear of insecurity, freedom from the fear of mortality, freedom from the clutches of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, malsarya, freedom from the distortion of the reflected medium, including the body, including the mind, freedom from the sense of insecurity and consequent ramification, freedom from the sense of insecurity and the consequent ramification. And when I say freedom, this has to be enjoyed now. This freedom has to be enjoyed now by living in this world. The one who has attained the freedom in this janma with a body, such a person is called as the Jivan Mukta, or that avastha or that state is called Jivan Mukta avastha. And this is the freedom from the sense of insecurity. It has nothing to do with, running away from life or anything. So what makes one insecure? Let me ask this question. I see a bit of low energy in many. So what makes one, insecure in life? What makes one insecure in life?
Desires, I guess.
Desires make insecurity. Then what else makes insecurity in life? What else make insecurity in life? Worries, fear. Fear of what? Tell me. We are not coming to the point. Fear of what? Fear of what all?
Losing the health.
Fear of death. Right. Fear of losing money is something different. Fear of death. Fear of death, fear of losing money, fear of, success, getting success or, failure in life. Then, fear of achieving the desires, right? Fear of, maintaining the ego, whether I will be able to maintain the same status quo after my retirement. Or fear of, someone will take care of me. This is also a big fear. Will there be someone who will be taking care of me? These all are the insecurities, right? So now, Shastram says that you are that consciousness, right? That consciousness created this manifestation, so called as the body, so called as you, the individual. And if you have this knowledge, what is the true purpose in life? Is it something like day to day I have to struggle and make myself miserable? No. You are that conscious principle. You are not the changing matter principle. And you have got all the potential within you. And you don't get limited by the different sheets of the materialistic world. Then why one should be worried about the challenges coming from the material world?
The consciousness should control the matter, not the other way.
You need to have a full control of your own self. For that you should know yourself. So, the main quality of a Jivan Mukta is what? The main trait of a liberated person is what? Self-knowledge. Put it in double quotes. Self-knowledge is the trait of a liberated individual. And that self-knowledge comes from where? How that self-knowledge is coming? Is it through, getting into some classes, or is it through, registering a course and getting the certificate? That self-knowledge has to happen through the aparoksha jnanam. One has to really realize this within. The knowledge has to get converted, the knowledge has to get assimilated as the wisdom. Aparoksha jnanam. So, the sloka says, the man of realization is evam cha vedanta vakye sadguru upadeshena cha sarveshu bhudeshu yesham brahma buddhir utpanna te jivan mukta ityartha. So, through the teachings of Vedanta and the teachings of a Sadguru, right? That Sadguru, what is the quality of a Sadguru? The one who has got the vision of truth. And that vision of truth is what? That truth is pervaded everywhere in all beings. And the one who gets this knowledge will be a liberated one, so called as the Jivan Mukta. Are you all with me? So, and this Jivan Mukta Avastha is the greatest freedom. Freedom from fear of mortality, freedom from the insecurity, freedom from all the Ashtaragam, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Malsarya, etc. Freedom from the 4 stains of karmam, so called as enjoyership, doership, aversion, attachment. So the summation should be 0, it should be clean, it should be clear. The mind has to be pure, irrespective of whatever karma you do in this world. The mind is not at all, having the stains of raga, dvesha, kartrutva, bhoktrutvam, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, malsaryam. Mind is free from the fear of mortality. Mind is free from the fear of insecurity. And this is the greatest freedom one should have. And such a person is called as the Jivan Mukta. Now, the question is, how can you define a Jivan Mukta? Let us see. This is a very big verse, page number 117, if you are using this book. Man of Realization is the chapter. Nano Jivan Mukta Kaha Yada Dehoham Purushoham Brahmanoham Shudrohamasmiti Drida Nischayastada Naham Brahmana Na Shudraha Na Purushaha Kintu Asangaha Satchidananda Surupaha Prakasharupaha Sarvandaryami Chidakasha Ruposmiti Drida Nischaya Rupo Aparoksha Jnanavan Jivan Muktaha. So, who is Jivan Mukta? Right. How can you explain the traits of a Jivan Mukta? Or you may ask, can I identify a Jivan Mukta around this place? What are the traits? In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked this question. Right? Can I know the traits of a man of equiposture? Right. Similarly, the verse is telling us, or maybe the verse is trying to answer our probable question that probably we'll ask, can you define how a Jivan Mukta looks like? So, here the verse says that, as I mentioned last time, a man of, or maybe you can say the trait of a liberated man is self-knowledge. And dependence on that self is the highest attribute of a person, a Jivan Mukta. Okay? And what is that? The knowledge that I am beyond the body, I am beyond the mind, I am beyond the intellect, I am beyond the senses, I am pure, infinite awareness. And this has to be very, very, very deep rooted. I am not the mortal body, mind, intellect, etc. I am the immortal self which is not having any destruction. No Chudi, Avinashi, Achyudan. I am the immortal self. I am not the mortal body, mind, intellect, sense, etc. This knowledge has to be very, 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 very deep rooted. And this deep rooting happens through the knowledge. This deep rooting happens through the conviction. This deep rooting happens through the assimilation of knowledge and conviction coming in a person. And that conviction appearing in the form of what? A practical deployment happening in a person. It is not something, a philosophy.
When he says, I'm not Brahmana, I'm not Shudra, that means he's referring to the Varna, I suppose.
No, it is not referring to the Varna. It is all about, I cannot identify myself with, though I am a Brahmanan, I cannot identify myself with a Brahmana or a Shudra or anything.
And that also reflects on the nature of work that I do.
This is not the, guna based or, Varna based. Right. So, but here is not about bringing a caste or a creed here. I am, first of all, one has to have a firm belief that I am not the body. So then where the question of you being a South Indian, you being an Indian, you being from this place, right? You are in this caste, you are in this creed, you are a male or a female, right? There is no question of such things. That is where here it is mentioned, I am not a Brahmin, I am not a Shudra, right? So because I am beyond all those things. If you see the Manisha Panchaka, one of the profound compositions of Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, the first verse says, right, Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Spudatara Ya Samvidu Jrambhade Ya Brahmadi Pipili Gandadanushu Prodha Jagal Sakshini Saivaham Najadrishya Vastu Idi Drida Prajnabi Yasyasti Ched Chandalostu Sadidvujostu Guru Rityesha Manisha Mama. Says that whether it is a Chandalan or a Shudran or a Brahmanan, never mind what is important. The one who has got a firm conviction that Jagrat Swapna Sushupti Suspudadara Ya Samvidu Jrambhade, the pure consciousness is pervading in all these Avastatrayam. I am the Avastatraya Sakshi. And this Chaitanyam is pervading in Ya Brahma Adi Pipi Ligandatanu Shuprodha Jagal Sakshini, starting from a single cell amoeba or an ant to a very big, right, you can call it as an elephant or the Brahma who himself is the creator. This is pervading and all beings are in this reality. Brahmadi Viliganda Anushu Prodha Jagal Sakshini Saivaham Najadrishya Vastu Idi Drida Prajnapi Yasyasti Jet. The one who has got a firm conviction about this truth, whether that person is a Dujan or a Brahmanan or a Chandalan, doesn't matter. You learn, you make that person as a guru. In Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see n number of stories. A butcher, and the butcher giving the wisdom, and people getting that wisdom from a butcher, and someone asks the butcher, why are you doing this? You know this is a sin. This I do as a this is an inherited job, right? This is something which I inherited. I am not killing anything because this is just a part of my livelihood. Maybe lot of stories are there, Maharashtra Santos, and you have a number of
Not based on birth, but it was based on the work you
Guna Karma Brahmana. So everyone should be Brahmana based on your guna. Maybe Varnam, maybe based on your job, right? Everyone cannot become a manager in office, right? Everyone cannot become engineers in world. Everyone cannot become lawyers. So that is where to maintain the system based on the skills and attributes people are deployed. But for gaining this knowledge, there is no blocker. Right? And one should also know, who am I? Right? And this body, just to execute or for your livelihood, you have to do something. And everyone cannot become ambassadors of a country. Everyone cannot become prime minister of a country. Correct? So basically the guna brahmanatvam is one that one should have in life. So here the person says that, Jivan Mukta's definition is, this person is a very ordinary person, but the vision is unique. What is the uniqueness here in the vision? I am not a finite and a samsari, transmigrating jiva. I am the truth. I am the witness consciousness. I am the unchanging consciousness. All are with me? So this has to become the conviction. It is not something someone mentioned that you are this consciousness. No. You have to learn. You have to learn. You have to attend. You have to listen. You need to assimilate. You need to do the mananam, and ultimately it has to become as your wisdom. And the ultimate purpose is what? You getting freedom out of the problems that are coming in life. So now what are the traits? This person is very clear. I am not a Shudra, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a man, I am unattached to the everything. And my nature of existence is consciousness, bliss, existence, consciousness, bliss. And the indweller of all and the formless awareness. So one has to get the clarity. And that clarity comes through what? First is the asangatvam. And one should be very clear. When I said a jiva is having two dimensions. One is the matter principle and other one is the consciousness principle. Right? So our Shastram says that you have to identify yourself with the consciousness principle. You are not the matter principle. So with this knowledge, one should have the asangatvam. What is the asangatvam? My own self is not associated or attached with the three bodies or three states. This self is not having any dependence on the body, mind, intellect. As per Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Chatusloki Bhagavatam, you can see Anvaya Vediregabhyam Yatsyat Sarvatra Sarvada. Bhagavan, Adi Narayana, gives this wisdom to Brahma. There is a term, technical term called as Anvaya Vediregabhyam Yatsyat Sarvatra Sarvada. Anvaya Vediregam. What is Anvaya Vediregam? This consciousness principle has no connection with the matter principle. And the matter principle cannot exist independently without the consciousness principle. Apara Prakriti cannot exist without Para Prakriti, but Para Prakriti can exist without Apara Prakriti. Consciousness principle is an independent principle. It is not a part of anything. It is not a product of anything. It is not a product of the body. It is not a part of the body. It is an independent principle. Consciousness principle is an independent principle, whereas matter is a dependent principle, including the body, mind, intellect. Correct? So, the first and foremost understanding is the asangatvam. This self is not having any connection with the body, mind, intellect, sense. Next, first is the asangatvam, second is the Satchidananda Swarupam. The self is ever existent. There is not even a time that the self is not existing. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna, there is not even a time that you and me cease to exist. We are always there. What is that we meaning? The self. The self is ever existent. Self is the witness of all. You go and look inward. Everything is changing, including the body, mind, intellect, etc. What is not changing? What is that something is not changing? Atma, your own existence is the one which is not changing. You can see that I am changeless, because if the consciousness is also changing, then there is no meaning. So your substratum, your adharam is not changing. You are the unchanging principle. And that unchanging principle is Satchidananda Swarupa. Please listen carefully. The self is ever existent and witness of all, and it's infinite. When I say infinite, it has got all the capabilities. It has got a portfolio of all the capabilities. In another way, we can say it has got all the alaukika and laukika guna. You think about anything, it is there in this. So this consciousness is Satchidananda Swarupam. Next, Prakasha Swarupam. This is what is the next term. Prakasha Swarupam. This self illumines all the thoughts. This is the life principle. That is there in all beings. The light of the lights. In the Kenopanishad again, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vajoha Vajam Sau Pranasya Pranaha Chakshusha Chakshur Adimuchyadira Pretyasmat Logat Amruda Bhavanti. Chakshusha Chakshur, the eye of the eyes, the mind of the minds, the word of the words. So this is the Prakasha Rupam. Prakasha Rupam is basically, this is the substratum of everything that you can think of, including your ideas. Where the ideas are coming? The ideas are coming with the help of intellect and mind. Where this mind and intellect stays? What is the substratum of that? It is the consciousness principle. So, Asangatvam, Sachidananda Swarupam, Prakasha Rupam, and next is the Sarva Andaryami, Sarva Andaryamitvam. Meaning what? The same consciousness is, or the same principle is pervading in everything. Bodies are many, but what is constant in everything? It is the consciousness principle. This is what Bhagavan said to Krishna. Matta paradaram nanyat kinjidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam. What is that? Mai sarvamidam prodam sutre manigana iva. Matta paradaram na anyat kinjidasti dhananjaya. I am the common. When Bhagavan Krishna says I am the common, that universal principle is the thread of everything. Mai sarvamidam prodam sutre manigana iva. How a thread is connecting all the beads of the garland. Similarly, this principle is pervading everywhere. Everything is in this principle. And this principle is invisible principle. Why? That is why it's called Para Prakriti. And Apara Prakriti is called as Maya. Apara Prakriti is called as something that you can witness. Apara Prakriti is that something which have got names and forms. Nama Rupam. But Nama Rupa alone cannot exist. What you need to have the existence, consciousness, bliss principle. Asti Bhadi Priyam. Nama Rupa alone cannot exist. Next, one more, we cannot say attribute, but it's saying Chidakasham. What is Chidakasham? It is the illuminator of everything beyond space. If you see galaxies, right? Where everything exists, in this principle, in this universal consciousness principle, everything is pervading. Asanga, Satchidananda Swarupa, Prakasha Rupa, Sarva Andaryami, Chidakash. So, a person, a Jivan Mukta, has got all these understanding. I am Asangan. I am not having any connection with body, mind, intellect, senses, etc. When I say I am not having connection, I am beyond this. Beyond this. Satchidananda Swarupa, myself is ever existent. It is a witness consciousness. And this is the self that gives or that illumines everything in this world. And this principle is pervading everywhere. And this gives light to everything in this universe. And I am that principle. So the first is from the Shastram and with the help of a Guru, get this knowledge, reflect upon this, assimilate, create our own wisdom, and the Guru who triggered this knowledge ultimately will appear as your own Andaryami. That Guru will appear as your own inner guiding principle. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavan Krishna again says to Uddhava, Atmano Guru Atmaiva Purushasya Visheshadaha Yat Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Shreyoso Anuvindade. Uddhava cries when Krishna leaves him. How can I live without you? Because you are the real Guru. You are the one who are always giving me the directions. How I cannot even imagine a life without you. You are the true Guru. You are the one who always shown the path, still showing. I cannot even imagine. Ultimately, Bhagavan says that the Guru you see in me is the external Guru, and I have triggered you. Now, that knowledge has to come from within, and that knowledge has to be your own wisdom. And Bhagavan says, Atmano Guru Atmaiva Purishasya Visheshadaha Yat Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Shreyoso Anuvindade. And that Atma, that inner principle, right, that Purushan will show you or give you the guidance. So that Purushan gives you the guidance, meaning this becomes your aparoksha jnanam. This becomes your own anubhuti. This becomes your own wisdom. This is not a direct or indirect knowledge. This is not through, somebody invented this and this is practically correct and I can take it. Not like that. This is not a direct knowledge. This is not an indirect knowledge. This is basically the aparoksha jnana, anubhuti, our own experience. And it is not a different experience because everyone sees the same truth. There is not even a second truth, only one truth. But maybe your paths are different, your methodologies are different, but ultimately what you realize is the same truth. And that truth is same, but your paths are different. So this is the immediate or direct perception of one's own self. So what one has to do? Removal of ignorance that is hiding the truth. One has to, explore it through the light of knowledge. Now, page number 121. Brahmaivahamasmiti aparoksha jnanena nikhila karma bandha vinirmukta. Okay. Brahmaivahamasmiti aparoksha jnanena nikhila karma bandha vinirmukta syad. Brahmaivaaham asmiti aparoksha jnanena nikhila karma bandha vinirmukta syad. So the one by immediate knowledge, what is the immediate knowledge? Immediate knowledge is I am the Brahman. I am this witness consciousness. Right? And with that knowledge one becomes free from the bondage of all karma or actions. So the question will come. This can be a practical question. So once you reach a state of Jivan Mukta Avastha, will you discard all your karma and run away? No, you will not. That person will still execute it. But that person will be free from the bondages of the karma vasanas. Raga, Dvesha, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva and all will not affect, or he or she will not get affected. So the false notion or the finitudeness is removed with the knowledge. And the false notion of I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, etc. will not come for that person while doing the karma. And the realized person, the Jivan Mukta, will also know that I am not the body, I am not the doer of the actions, I am not the enjoyer of the results, I am akarta, I am abhokta, I am free from the bondages of everything, of the actions, because the bondages will come from the karma bhalam, karma vasanas. Correct. Karma bhalam and karma vasanas. Karma will have karma bhalam, outputs will be there, and the vasanas, the stains that are coming out of this, right? See, when you execute a job, you get some outputs. And you will also add certain stains into that. Due to me, this has happened. See, the ego is coming. You got some output. Output is something. Plus, on the top of the output, yeah, see, these things are happening due to me. Or I am the enjoyer.
Yeah, so if you work hard and you get some achievement,
Huh.
then you start feeling proud.
Yeah, you will start feeling proud and also, say that, see, this is what, right? These are the results. See, this is a simple job for me. It's a cakewalk. People say this, right? That's okay. Maybe from a external point of view, you should appreciate the results, obviously, right? When you execute a project, you get outcomes. No problem, you celebrate it. But in your inner plane, don't carry the stains. Right? Don't attract the karma vasanas. Ragam, Desha, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva. Don't. Maybe you stop it at the plane of the transaction. Yeah, good job. See, so somebody says that you are a very nice person and yeah, it has happened. You executed. You bravo. Right? Maybe you don't need to say that I am Brahman and I don't want it. Say that, yeah, that's good. Thanks. It is a teamwork. Everyone helped. Right? But don't attract any stains into your inner realm. So, Sarva Karma Nasham. When he says Sarva Karma Nasham, it is not about, running away from the karmam. It is not by doing, it is not by, not doing the work. It is not getting affected by the work. What is the problem here? Attracting or, accumulating the karma vasana is a problem. Celebration is not a problem, right? But after the celebration, again, you creating the, attachment towards that. Enjoyership, doership, etc. Right? So, Sarva Karma Nasham is what we have to, but it is not doing the work or running away from the work. It is not getting affected by the stains of the work. So this person, Jivan Mukta, is very clear. Because the Atma, there is no identity. Atma is not having any ego. Atma is not the doership. Atma is not the enjoyership. Right? Atma doesn't have this kalankam. The Atma doesn't have the stains. If I am that, then why should I carry the stains? So that is the clarity. But you will still do the work. You will do a better job. That person will be a Jivan Mukta. And the important attribute one has to understand is the Jivan Muktan will never accumulate the karma vasanas further. Clear? If that is the case, next verse, let's see. I hope you all are with me. Any questions or any clarity needed? Okay. Brahmevaham asmidi apuroksha jnanena nikhila karmabandha nirmukta syad. So, with this clarity, one will become free from the bondages of the karmam, meaning bondages of the stains of the karmam, actions. Now, the question will come. What are the karmam, different types of karmams? And if you are saying karma vasana, accumulation of karma vasana is a problem, how will you be able to not accumulate? What is that we should think about? Right? What are the different types of karma, etc. Right? These are the probable questions one can ask. So let's get into that. Karma, page number 123. Karmani kadividhani sandidi ched Agami sanjida prarabdha bhedena trividhani santi. Karmani kadividhani santidi ched Agami sanjida prarabdha bhedena trividhani santi. So, how many karmas are there? What sort of attributes are there for these karmas? Can we qualify these karmas, or can we have some heads for these karmas? So the answer is if you ask specifically like that, there are 3 types of karmas. What are those? They are Agami, Sanjita and Prarabdha. Agami, Sanjita and Prarabdha. Agami meaning what? Something is yet to come. Maybe in the due course of action, something you will see in your way. You pick.
So is it like actions based on thinking about the future or
Something based on the future. Thinking about the future, and it can be in a future point of time, you may gather. This is Agami. So when we say karma, why do we execute karma? Tell me please. Why are we doing the actions? Why are we doing action? Maybe if you recollect the first session, what are we trying to do in this life? Not just the habit of doing, because in the habit of doing meaning you can do a number of things. But why we do? That's fine.
Purity of mind.
Huh?
Purity of mind to attain.
Come again, please.
To attain purity of mind.
With the knowledge you are converting that. Ultimately, purity of mind is what we should aim when we do the karma. But otherwise, why do we do karma? Tell me. Why are we going to office? Why are we doing job?
just for better future?
Some bhala prapti. Basically, everyone is looking for anandam in life.
In anticipation of Anand.
In anticipation of anandam. Absolutely. Correct. And no one wants to be miserable in life. No one wants, right? So, we can say Punya Papa Arjanam happens out of karma. Correct. Essentially, Punyam. And that Punyam will become Papam if you are harming something, or if you are, touching the harmony of the system. Correct. But technically, everyone wants to attain Punyam.
Punya means
Good deeds, good things. Right. And in the...
How do I define what is good? Like, if a butcher is doing his job, is it
That's what I'm saying. So we have to see from a micro level and macro level perspective. We have to see. Maybe I am doing a punyam. Maybe I want to become a singer, and I am disturbing the people around my place. And at midnight I start my singing. So it will be a pabam for other people. It will become a distraction or a disturbance for others. Though I am trying to do punya, getting me. So maybe adrishtam or drishtam, we will do the arjanam, do the accumulation of punyam or papa. But essentially we all want to do punyam, right? But the dharmam, that is where the dharma says that you cannot be selfish. You have to be selfless. You have to think in totality and do the things. That is what the framework of dharma prescribes. Correct. So, but everyone wants to do punyam in life. But, some papam will also get accumulated. Knowingly or unknowingly, we do that. So, agami is all about, fresh karma vasanas you attain while you go forward. Maybe if you are going forward, on your way, you may be able to gather or, take some fresh. Correct. Sanjidam meaning Sanjidam meaning is already there in the bag. It is there, the past or accumulated karma vasanas. And prarabdham is what? Prarabdham is basically in your bucket something which can be fruitioned, which can be fructified or fruitioned, which can be which is already matured, like our bank balance, our FDs. 3 years. So today my FD is getting matured. So it is very clear that tomorrow that money from FD will come to savings bank. It is matured. It is, ripened enough. Entitlement, right? So this type of karmas are called as prarabdha. For example, when you take the birth, from your sanjidam bucket, certain things, right? For example, the dominant karma vasanas are picked, and the conducive structure or environment is created for that jiva, be it the type of parents, be it the family, be it the coordinates, be it the place that you get a birth, be it the associations, the future associations that you will have. Prarabdham is all about giving the structure to execute the dominant traits which is already there in your basket. It's already defined. No, you cannot change. So when the birth is taken, everything is clear. Everything is clear. So this is prarabdha. Huh? Sanchidam is the accumulation. Let me tell. You already have your bank balance or bank deposit. I am not really good at these terms, but your bank balance or deposit.
You can say it is attained by you.
It is
your education or that thing is
everything. That is your sanjidam, right? Your complete deposit of things. Your complete deposit. No, actions meaning the traits. The traits. For example, assume that a person should become a businessman, right? And the kind of business, the kind of the top attributes for doing a business in that area by this person, correct? Already there. At the same time, I am also generous. Though this is a hypothetical example. Though I am a shrewd businessman, some sort of generosity is also there. Some weaknesses are there, right? So these all are the dominant thoughts in me or dominant vasanas. And some other vasanas are probably, I am also an academician. Maybe I also love, wildlife, etc. N number of traits are there. But in those N, certain traits are really, dominant. Correct. So the entire set of traits, the so-called bag, is the accumulation called as the sanjidam. From that bag, the top 10 traits or the 10 vasanas need to be fructified. For the fructification of that, the system will be created in such a way that you will be born as so and so, and in that family with this things are there.
So when you say fructified, it means
It has to get fructified.
you are trying to get rid of the vasana, right?
That's what I'm saying. Getting rid of vasana or the dominant. When I say dominant, you really want to execute that. Correct. You want to execute. Let us not mix it. Getting rid of vasanas is what is needed technically. But let's assume that
What are you actually doing?
there are a set of traits, right? And out of that, certain traits are dominant. And to fructify that, you take a form, jiva, with certain, attributes, born as so and so's son or daughter, right? Doing this, the kind of education, the kind of, network, etc. So that system will become conducive for you to fruition it. So that is prarabdha. It is already destined, right? And with that thing, now you are executing your life. In that journey, again, you gather something. That becomes your agami. And agami goes to what? Agami goes to sanjidam. It goes into your deposits. It's again getting accumulated.
And it's all unique to every.
It is unique. It is unique. It is unique.
It's not that nothing generated.
No.
It's not common.
No. Because that is why the traits are different. Yeah, depending on your action. And again, it is individual oriented, because your traits are different from my traits. Similar, right? Totally. Right. So, what we will do is Agami Karma. What we will do is we will just stop here because the kids are coming. Karmani Kadividhani Sandhidi Chet Agami Sanjida Prarabdha Bhedena Trividhani Sandhi. So, there are 3 types of action: Sanjidam, Agami, and Prarabdha. And now the question is asked: Agami Karma. What is Agami Karma? Maybe that is also your question. Right. Jnanotpatya Jnanotpatya Anantaram Jnani Dehagridam Punya Paparupam Karma Yadasti Tad Agami Ityabhidiyate. Jnanotpatya Anantaram Jnani Dehagridam Punya Paparupam Karma Yadasti Tadagami Ityabhidiyate. The results of actions, whether it's good or bad, performed by the body of a realized soul, a jnani, a jivan mukta, after the dawn of knowledge, is known as agami. So what we have to understand, this is slightly confusing. We have to think from 2 perspectives. One is a person who is in the path of gaining knowledge, or think about a Jivan Mukta. One who is clear, one who has got the understanding, and Jivan Mukta has one track. Other one, one who is not having any idea or understanding about what is the true purpose, who am I, etc. So the Agami defined in this verse is basically with respect to a Jivan Mukta state. So the results, whether the actions are good or bad, performed by the body of a realized soul after the dawn of knowledge, is called Agami. Right. So a man who is already realized, and in his path or her path, whatever comes while he or she progresses in that journey is called as Agami here. Should not get confused, because this is with reference to a Jivan Mukta's state of aware or a path. But others also it will be there, but the Jnanam is missing there. They will gather a lot of Agamis. Right. But here it is clearly mentioned, a realized soul after the dawn of knowledge, after having the clarity, but others may not have the clarity. Correct. So the point is, for both, Agami is there, but how to deal with the Agami? So a Jnani will deal it in a better way, but whereas an Ajnani will deal it in a different way.
But like, if it's a realized soul, then why would he do something bad? All his actions will do.
No, why he is not doing bad. For example, the bad and good is from the perspective of people. For example, I have to put force for someone to do the work. Assume that, right? Though I am doing the dharmam, but for that person who doesn't want to work, right? That person will say he is a bad manager, or he is a bad supervisor, right? He is very bossy. He is trying to he is forcing me to do that. Correct. But I also know that person may not like this, but my duty is to get the job executed through that person, because he is paid. I have to do my dharma, and he also should do the dharma. Correct. But I have to go one step beyond. Probably I have to force. For me also it is an unpleasant situation, and that person will treat me as a bad, or maybe the karma, he will treat it as a bad karma due to this person. But I am not bothered about whether it's a bad karma or good karma, because Jnani is always clear. But the perspective, that is where good and bad is all perspectives. Getting me? What we will do is we will stop here, because it's already 4:30. Kids are also waiting. We will start this verse from the next session. the same one, Sanjita, Agami, Sanjidam, Prarabdham, and what one has to do with this knowledge and how to deal these three karma and how to stick to the point of having freedom in life, right? This is very important. Please don't miss the next session. We will chant the Shanti mantra before we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What we